This is why I love repurposing content, because ultimately you're able to reduce stress and get more done while working less. If you create a vertical video, why would you only upload it on YouTube Shorts? So imagine if you took videos from your library, combined them into one larger video, you're giving yourself more opportunities to reach and impact people with the content and expose them to other videos and uploads on your channel that they may have missed. Is it possible to upload more videos while working less? The answer is yes. And in this episode of the Think Media podcast, we're going to be talking about 4 powerful ways to increase your YouTube uploads and get more views while reducing stress and working less. This is actually part 2 of our productivity series. And in the first part, we talked about how to record multiple videos in one day, ultimately how to increase your uploads. But in this episode, I want to talk about 4 tips for repurposing your existing content in a smart way. Now, today's episode is brought to you by 21videotips.com. That's an incredible free class that we have sharing today's best video marketing strategies, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Tip number 1, when it comes to smart repurposing, one of the best ways to do this is to turn long form content into clips. A clip is anything from 1 minute to probably 10 minutes. And a great example of this is Dave Ramsey. Now, Dave Ramsey is a personal finance teacher. He helps people get out of debt. He's famous for telling people to cut up their credit cards. And what Dave Ramsey does is a live show 5 days a week on personal finance and getting out of debt. Dave actually has 2 different YouTube channels, and on his Dave Ramsey live YouTube channel, that is where the live stream happens every day for 2 hours, or they upload the replay of the 2-hour show. Now, Dave's been doing this for a long time. He's got an entire team and other personalities, but just for some math to prove how powerful this is, in this last month, that channel got 2.4 million views. The long form content got 2.4 million views in a month. But after the 2-hour long form videos are live streamed or uploaded, they're then turned into shorter clips, which in this case are uploaded on a different channel. And so on that channel, Dave uploaded 61 videos, essentially highlights or clips that are all around 7 minutes each. Some of them are 4 minutes, some of them are 9 minutes, but here's the crazy part. In a month's time, that channel got 10.3 million views. So think about it. Across all the uploads, about 25 or whatever it is to do it 5 days a week, it got 2.4 million views. But then multiplying that content, repurposing that content, got 10 million views. That is a 5x return on energy and return on investment when it comes to the views and the impact. This is one of the reasons why we love video podcasting here at Think Media, because you can create long form content and then ultimately repurpose clips from that content. Now, one of the questions you may have is, should I actually upload clips on the same channel or a different channel? And a lot of times people will do it on a different channel. In the case of Dave Ramsey, that's what he does. Joe Rogan is another famous example. He has a channel called JRE Clips, and his long form episodes are actually not allowed to be on YouTube because he signed a $100 million contract with Spotify. And so I don't think there's necessarily a right or a wrong way. I think about Pat Flynn, who during the pandemic started a live show daily that was called the Income Stream. And so every day he went live and taught something in regards to online marketing or online business, did a lot of Q&A and community building. And then he started a separate channel called the Income Stream Clips. However, in the case of the Think Media podcast, we don't want to start an additional clips channel yet. So we are keeping all of our podcast clips on the same channel. And so for you, if you were just starting out, I would recommend not starting multiple channels, but trying to keep everything under the one roof. But this is something that I think isn't really right or wrong. It's just something to test, pick a strategy, and then roll with it. So number 1 is long form videos into clips, but number 2 is long form into YouTube Shorts. What's the difference? Well, a YouTube short is going to be less than 1 minute. A clip is going to be a horizontal or landscape video, whereas a short is going to be a vertical video. A cool example of this is Gabriel Perez. He has a channel called heartworking.dad on IG as well as YouTube, and he has amazing content for Christian fathers. He's a certified biblical parenting coach, and what he started on was actually Instagram, doing vertical videos, what are called Instagram Reels. But then he realized how easy it would be to start a YouTube channel and upload YouTube Shorts. Gabe also started a video podcast with longer form content on Christian parenting, but then he used an AI tool, which we'll actually be talking about, a lot of cool AI tools, which makes this repurposing stuff fast and easy. That'll be part 3 of this series, so make sure you're subscribed. But he started to take YouTube Shorts out of his longer form video podcast. Ultimately, he's still at the early stages of building his brand online, of building these social media channels, of building his video podcast. But what's crazy is he already has 8 YouTube Shorts that are over 1,000 views, and that's been some of his best performing content so far. So think about it. If Dave Ramsey didn't upload those clips, he'd be missing out on so much more reach and impact and views. Think about Gabe. If he wasn't uploading these shorts, he'd already made the long form content and he used AI to go quickly and turn the long form content into shorts. He'd be missing out on more views and more growth, which is critical, especially when you're newer and starting a channel. One California pastor just crossed 1,000 subscribers on YouTube using this simple strategy. His name is Jeff Moores from Rhythm Church in Oceanside, California. He uses AI software to quickly create vertical video and YouTube Shorts from his 40-minute sermons that he delivers on Sunday. This strategy led to him getting 5 times more views than his longer form videos were getting, and he was able to do multiple uploads all from one longer form sermon. And the crazy thing is this only takes a few minutes per week. This is why I love repurposing content, because ultimately you're able to reduce stress and get more done while working less. But is there any other ways we can repurpose our content? The answer is yes. And tip number 3 is content marathons. This is one of my favorite strategies that literally nobody else talks about that I've found on the internet. To get the big idea, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a viral TikTok compilation? This is actually where people download multiple different TikToks, stitch them all together, and upload a 10 or 20 minute video on YouTube that a lot of times can get millions of views. So imagine if you took videos from your library, combined them into one larger video, and then uploaded that longer video to your channel. This is why we call this smart repurposing, because the more you plan in advance, the more that you look down the road and structure your content, the better the results you can get. For example, if you were to create a video series, part 1 is 10 minutes, part 2 is 10 minutes, part 3, part 4, etc., about 40 minutes of content. Well, you could upload each of those videos separately. Perhaps you could upload some shorter clips from those videos as well, but then you could stitch all of those videos together and upload an extra long video that's 40 minutes. This might sound crazy, but it's incredibly powerful. And oftentimes, super long content, especially education content, can perform very well on YouTube. My favorite example of this that I did personally was I created a series on how to plan a video, shoot a video, edit the video, and then upload the video. And I made it a 4-part series. Then I eventually stitched them together. And there's ways you can spice this up. What I did was I went back to all of the previous uploads. I looked in the comments for points of clarity people were asking for, questions people were asking for, and I actually uploaded transitions that answered the 3 to 4 to 5 best questions. And I kind of created, I was almost like the host of a 4-part series for the super long content marathon. And the content marathon was around a 2-hour video. Well, that video on Think Media now has millions of views. It's generated something like over $30,000 in YouTube ad revenue. Why? Well, because it's so long, it can have multiple ad spots. And so ask yourself, how could you tap into the power of content marathons on your channel? Another example of this is Evan Carmichael, who's known for uploading a lot of inspirational compilations and content from people like Gary Vaynerchuk or Oprah Winfrey. One of his popular series is called 10 Rules of Success. So he'll make a video of like Oprah's 10 rules of success. He'll gather clips from her all over the internet, stitch it into a list, and then he'll do part 1, part 2, part 3, and maybe 10 parts. So then he'll eventually upload a video on Oprah's 100 rules of success, which is actually all of those videos combined together. Now, again, this may or may not work for your exact content format, but what I would argue is that there is a way to do this on your channel. For example, if you were a comedian or an entertainment channel, in a year's time, you might upload your 5 greatest hits in December or around the holidays of like your top 5 most viral videos, your top 5 funniest videos, or your top 5 songs if you're a musician, because it's kind of like a telethon, a marathon. It's like the episodes of The Walking Dead are coming out once a week, but then eventually during the holidays, usually they're all stitched together. Watch The Walking Dead marathon in black and white. This is a content marathon. And some of the objections might be, well, what if people have already seen this? Well, if they've already seen it, then they don't have to watch it. But 2, they've probably forgotten. And 3, a lot of times new people have subscribed. And what's powerful about this is it's tapping into more hooks in the ocean, more fishing poles sitting against the railing on the dock so that you can potentially, if one of the episodes in the series didn't do very well, maybe the content marathon will do better. You're giving yourself more opportunities to reach and impact people with the content and expose them to other videos and uploads on your channel that they may have missed. So number 1 is long form into clips. Those are 1 to 10 minutes or so. Number 2 is long form into shorts. Those are vertical videos that are less than a minute. Number 3 is content marathons. And then number 4 is to post your vertical videos on other social media platforms. Again, the goal here is to take all of the energy, all the creativity, and all of the hard work that you put into creating content and ultimately get more mileage and impact and reach out of the one piece of content you're creating. And so if you create a vertical video, why would you only upload it on YouTube Shorts? Why not also upload it on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook Reels? You know, I mentioned Jeff Moore's earlier from Rhythm Church. Their YouTube channel just hit 1,000 subscribers. Super cool milestone for their community and their church. But those sermon clips that are short vertical videos coming out of his longer 40-minute sermons are not just being uploaded as YouTube Shorts. They're also going on Facebook. They're also going on Instagram. And they're ultimately able to then encourage people, inspire people, bring awareness to that local church, grow followers on the different platforms, and all because you're working smarter and not harder. All because you're tapping into the power of intelligently dividing up and repurposing your content so that it can reach further than ever before. Today's episode is brought to you by 21videotips.com, which is a must-watch class, especially if you've loved this content. Of course, we love YouTube the most here at the Think Media Podcast, but we understand that it's actually video itself. How can we create great videos, upload great videos on YouTube, but also intelligently spread those videos across multiple platforms, not just so that we can get some views and vanity metrics, but so that we can ultimately build our businesses, increase our revenue. And so at 21videotips.com, you're going to see a free class of some of my friends and some of today's top experts sharing their best video tip of all time. 21 of them all in one class, and it's entirely free. And so if you haven't watched that yet, check it out in the show notes or just go to 21videotips.com. Now also make sure you're subscribed for part 3 of our productivity series, where I'm going to be breaking down the best AI tools for turning one long video into 10 viral clips. We're going deeper on the topic of this episode. And if you found this content valuable, it would mean the world to me if you rate, review, and like this wherever you watch or listen to the Think Media podcast. I appreciate you so much, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode.